Good evening, everybody, and welcome to LessonPix Live. And it has been Mercury is in retrograde, or whatever that saying is about technology being a problem today.
Were you a little stressed just a few minutes ago?
We have our own stressors here, believe it or not. Even technology geeks like me have stressors, and yeah, we had a little bit of a glitch. StreamYard, which has been rock solid up until now, dropped Facebook. It was no longer going to publish to Facebook. Set that up, and it created a new event, which means that all the people who had subscribed and all the promotion of the other event didn't happen.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. So
we should send them a well-worded letter.
we're gonna have a strongly worded letter.
I want to learn more about writing so I can write them a strongly worded letter.
Well, you may not learn it from me because I noticed I left the E off my name. So
yeah.
Oops.
So Elizabeth Warren says no technology prayer was said. No, we did not
exactly.
say actually.
We did do one, Elisa. We did. And
She did. And to be fair, we are live. And
please.
We have not failed. We just had a bump on the way.
Yeah.
So we are very, very
Technology work. Okay. Now I feel better.
I've never done that. That is against my religion to do that.
Oh, so. I do it every time. It's agnostic. It has not any. It's not a prayer. It's a chant.
But I'm a geek. I write the code. It's like. All right, we are live here, and we are going to give people just a couple seconds to come over from the other stream when they get there, and it goes away, and they're sad. But thank you, Alyssa. If you made it over, there's some hope that somebody else might make it. But you're pretty technical. She's like our most technical ATP.
I would think.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So Alyssa, if you have a chance, go over to the other one. Tell them to go to the new link. Great. But let's talk about who we've got on board here, and they can catch up. They can watch this. It's recorded. We're still on YouTube, which is awesome, and we might be on.
We're on
Twitter.
Facebook.
Yeah, we're on Twitter. We're on Facebook.
Cool.
We're just on the wrong stream. So we have Dr. Caroline Musselwhite with us again, and Caroline, you're awesome. You missed an E on your name, I think.
That's what I just said. Yes, the literacy person has left the E off her name. Oops.
Would you like me to fix that for you?
Please.
I can do that.
I didn't know how to go back. I just saw it.
No.
Story when Patty King DeBon and I did our first book on emergent literacy success, my last name was misspelled. So there you go.
Keeping in the tradition.
So I cannot. Maybe on here. Yeah, I can. Look at that. I can fix it. Look at that. There you go. All better.
Being Caroline.
Yep. Hello, Sabina. I'm glad you made it. Judy found us. I think people are going to come over. I'm glad we waited just a minute.
I saw a bunch of these people yesterday at a webinar we did. So thanks for joining in twice in a week.
Wow. That's awesome. They're good. There are peeps here. They're the ones we count on to show up. So so I am, and it says can't post comments to some destinations. All right, whatever. Okay, let's get started. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about. Judy says it was great.
Thanks, Judith.
Judy's one of my favorites. So, Caroline, how are you? How's Arizona? How you doing?
Arizona's great. Getting a little warm. We're going to be doing some kayaking on Sunday. That should be interesting. And going to a Arizona Grand on Wednesday. And in between, it's work. So just a little fun on the bookends.
And then you're going to join us in the Asheville area in a month or so. That's awesome.
We're in the mountains, like you guys are.
Just about an hour away, maybe about 45 minutes away. Yeah. So we will be there
about the same time.
10 days from now, we're going to be moving north. It is too hot in here in the summer to hang. But so we also have another person we haven't said hi to. Hi, Allie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, this is our daughter, Allie, and also LessonPix's newest Beach Path. Congratulations on getting your C's.
Thank you.
And you're wearing your LessonPix shirt, your jersey. Love it.
Hey, you dressed for the occasion.
You did. And so
Okay.
Allie is about an hour and a half south of us in Bradenton, Florida, and working in a private practice and working really hard in a private practice that is making very good use of Allie's skills. Sound right?
Sure.
People think
Thanks.
you're awesome. So,
Congrats,
yeah,
Allie.
congratulations. And Allie and Caroline have a bit of a history. So during COVID, I guess a little bit of background here. During COVID, Allie was in school to be a speech path and had trouble with internships because there were no internships because nobody was
COVID.
doing any in-person work. And they were doing, what's the name of that stuff you hated?
Oh, I forget what it was called. SimuCase was the grad school one, and it was like masterclass or something like that.
You had to do tons of hours in simulated stuff. And you reached out to a bunch of LessonPix people in the LessonPix helpers group and hooked up with Brandy Wentland. And you were her intern for a while.
Well, then her SLPA for a bit.
Then you got your SLPA,
Mhm.
and you've done that through grad school as well. But during that time, Caroline, you were there as well at Therapy One in Arizona.
Absolutely, and still am.
And still are, and made good use of Allie's skills as well, right?
And Allie was also a reviewer. She was a helper on several, just a really active reviewer on several of the little books that I did. I did a book a month during lockdown, just figure why not, because we aren't doing other stuff. And Allie is she's got incredible graphic skills. So I learned a lot from her. She's here and I'm still way down here, but I still learned a lot that has helped me a lot. So thank you again. It's the gift that keeps on giving, Allie.
No problem.
Allie is awesome. She's one of our first artists after her mother. And we have some fabulous Allie artwork in LessonPix. We also have some early Allie artwork in LessonPix, right?
Nice.
Sure do.
You look up Allie in LessonPix. You get an
Now
early
that
Allie.
is some creative expression. My
That's right.
self-portrait was quite the creative expression.
What were you
Love
like? Were you about 7?
Yeah, 8 or 9.
Let's see.
Oh,
Let's
there
see.
we go.
8 or 9. Let's
Let's
see.
see.
Oh, your dad's so
Actually
proud
very
of you.
nice for that age.
Look
There
at
you
this.
go.
That's awesome. Allie can draw better
I
than this
love
now.
it.
This is
Aw.
in our kid drawn section. I don't know. Have
Right.
you ever seen that, Caroline? Yes.
Absolutely, I love it. I've
Tons
used
kid
some of
drawn
that because
pictures
it's
here.
because
And
people really it resonates with people. So
it
I've
does. People
definitely
use
used
this a lot. A
Yep.
lot of people actually ask for more of them.
Yep.
Are any others of these yours that you're very proud of? I think these cats are yours.
My wish I'm very proud of, and my scuba.
Wish.
Yep, there's wish
Wish.
further down. Keep going. You're almost there to the W's. There you go.
There it is.
She did a
That's
fountain.
really good. Yeah, at age 7. That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's nice.
Yep.
That's awesome. So these Allie has been with us from the beginning. Allie has been at
Many
Asha.
dinner table discussions.
She's been at more Ashes than we're allowed to say. So it was very funny. Her boss at her new company said, "Would you like to go to Asha?" Yeah, been there, right?
Right. Been there, done that, done
All
that,
right.
done that.
Well, she always wants to go.
She always wants to go. Always.
want to go. It's fun.
But let's talk a little bit about you, Caroline, because you're our guest here. It is speech, not National Hearing Speech Month.
It
But
is
National
National
Hearing.
It is still.
Speech,
Yes.
What was the new
Language,
name?
and Hearing Month.
National Speech, Language, and Hearing, not
Mhm.
the other one.
Better
So,
speech.
so we are doing speech paths every week this month, and we did Mary Houston last week. We talked to Tara Rail,
Mary Catherine Daly.
Mary Catherine Daly. Is there one more? Oh, that's right, Mary Catherine Daly. There you go.
4 weeks.
There's one more.
And
It's
then you. And today we're going to talk about literacy. We're going to talk about creative expression.
And you are the celebration of a great month,
Yeah, you're the cumulative,
culminating.
the ultimate, not the penultimate guest here. So let's talk a little bit about you before we get started. I did learn a lesson to always make sure I ask people this, because if I don't, they'll tell me the story sometime when we're not sharing, and I'll be like, oh, I should have asked him about that on the podcast or on the stream. So how did you get into this? How did you get into this? Like, you are a speech path, but you're also like now a literacy expert, right? You are very much involved in AAC and folks with complex communication needs. How'd you get here? What was your path here?
Yeah, my dad was totally blinded during World War II. And so I had that interest in, connecting with people with disabilities. And I didn't want to go into that field, but I wanted to be in some areas of this. So I worked as a volunteer in high school and then in college. And in college, I went to this an institution for people with very significant problems and saw my first communication board. And there's a whole long story that I don't have time to tell, but I just realized that I wanted to help people get a voice. And I was 18 at the time, and it took a while to figure it out, but I changed my career from special ed to speech pathology because I thought maybe I could work with that more, and immediately went into AAC before it was really a field. So and got my doctorate, and that's it.
Got you. And
that's it. Like, it's that easy.
Yeah. And then
no, it was not easy. It was not easy, but yeah.
When did you?
I'm giving you the high points.
When did you spread more into the literacy side? Because that is actually how I know you more. I know you've got a background in AAC.
That was just decades and decades ago. So it was in the 80s. I was working at the Irene Wortham Center in Asheville, and Don Johnston came, and at that point his company was only they were doing is more psychological stuff and motor stuff for kids. And I said, what we really need is books for kids who are older but need things that are really, I didn't know the term age respectful, but I said that are really not babyish and that are simple but really engaging to help them learn to read, because I know that we have kids who can read. And so this would have been in, I think it was 1982. And so I just have been pursuing it ever since. And then met up with Karen Erickson in the early 90s or late 80s, and got to do a lot of stuff with her and Gretchen Hanser. When I moved to Arizona in 91, connected with Gretchen Hanser. And so we really got to do a lot of stuff, and Deanna Wagner. And just, so I think it's about the people around me. It was about the need and about the people that I was able to connect with, and also Patty King DeBon. So
very cool.
A lot of people that were on the same, had that same passion, on that same path, and wanting to figure it out.
Well, that's awesome. I think that we're very lucky to have you here, and thank you for joining us. We've kind of bumped into each other on and off, and then over the past couple of years, been seeing an awful lot more. Really, really excited about that. So you use LessonPix in your work. I know you use it in low-tech AEC. I know you use it in other things, but today we're talking about creative writing and creative expression. So that's when I said, what do you want to talk about? It wasn't even a moment. It was like, right, that was absolutely it. It's what you wanted to talk about.
Because I've been passionate about this for forever, but we just finished a book on it. And so I just, it's like kind of front and center in my life right now. So that was another reason.
That's
and
excellent.
Also just the way it connected and intersected with LessonPix felt like a good mix, good match.
Oh. Well, why don't we do a couple things along the way? At some point, make sure that you plug your book. Okay, I'm sure you can do that, right?
What I really wanted to do is show a couple of pages and then go back behind the scenes and show how we did it with LessonPix.
All right. Well, would you like me to?
Yeah.
Share your
screen. Does that work for you?
Okay, sounds good. So this is a book that notice I have LessonPix over here on the side. Because we're going to be using it in a minute. But it's a book that I wrote with Deanna Wagner and Elisa Wern. Hello, Elisa's here tonight. Elisa, another amazing artist who made this book look so much better. So I just wanted to go behind the curtains. That's a picture of me from about 5 years ago. You can tell, I'm sure. And so I just want to show a couple of ideas and show how we did this. One of the things I did was to collaborate with Beth, also Beth Poss, who wasn't able to be here tonight, but collaborated with Beth and said, hey, here's a bunch of different poems we've done. How would you celebrate these using LessonPix? And so I had some I'd already done, but then some ideas of how could we do that. So just the day before, we'd done this science experiment, and we did the egg drop, where you have toilet paper rolls, and you have 3 glasses covered with cardboard, and then you have 3 toilet paper little rolls, and you put 3 eggs on it, and you do that whole thing where you remove the tablecloth, only you're pulling the cardboard, and the 3 eggs are supposed to drop in. And I had only done it with 1 egg, and the first one I did it a little slow. It wasn't pretty. Okay, so I knew that you must go fast. The second time, so now I'm doing it with 3 eggs in front of the audience of our literacy group. And I mean, we couldn't believe that they all just went plop, plop, plop. It was amazing. The students were so excited. And so they're all making comments. And we decided, okay, how can we really celebrate that other than just doing a little web where they have their words in there? And that's nice. And that's important that they see their words, that you were using creative expression using their devices. But then we wanted to kick it to the next level. And so what happened is that that Beth said, oh, let me just use our template. And so we use this template, your little web, and she actually just added symbols to it. But what I wanted to show is that we could also just download this and use it for 100 different things. So I was thinking that one of the books that I'm hoping to teach this fall is Harriet Tubman in Retopia. So I'm just going to go here and type in Harriet Tubman and see if you have a Harriet Tubman. And I know you will. I have total
good.
faith.
I'm glad you checked.
There she is. And there is Harriet Tubman. And so I'm just going to move her over. So I can just make this very simple just by adding her in the middle. But now what I do is have students do a bunch of words, and I could have the words, just the words. We can do text symbols, or I could have the words with some symbols. And so it is interesting that when I was looking today, I saw this set that they were doing a She Is poem, and the students had come up with a whole bunch of different words. So I just threw them in my tray, and I thought, well, let's play with those. And so I'm going to go to our play, and I think I'll just do a spinner. I'm going to create the game. Please, technology work. Okay, let's try it. Create that game using okay, it worked. So let's spin.
Well, my stuff better work.
And so here I have angry. Does that match? Do you think there's a time in this book that Harriet Tubman was angry? Oh my gosh, yes. Let's put that over here, right? You know that she was angry at some point. And now I could do this, and then students could help find the first letter for angry so they could write it. You can see all the 100 different things you could do. And then I can spin another one. And what do you think? You're going to decide if you think this matches for Harriet Tubman. Is Harriet Tubman pretty? Is Harriet Tubman, so we're not going to fill in the whole thing. I just want you to see all these different opportunities of choosing things. Do you think she was cold? Let's see. She was taking people along the Underground Railroad. I'm thinking cold. And there was a hungry and a dirty. So I couldn't believe how this tray that was already ready for a She Is poem, boom. And all I had to do was just add this picture in the middle. So I was just thinking you guys could pick. I'm going to go back to my controls, and I'm going to go to search. And what is something, instead of Harriet Tubman, who would you like? What character would somebody like to do? So I'll let somebody just throw out something, and we'll see if we can find that person. It could be a cartoon character, just somebody you think might be in LessonPix. And if not, of course, then Laurie or Allie will have to draw it.
Now to draw it right now on the spot.
That's right. Right now, right here, right now, Laurie.
All right. So does anybody in the peanut gallery want to give a name, or do you want one of us to do it? I'm watching the comments. We can
just some character from a book, or a Disney character, or a Wile E. Coyote, whatever.
What are you thinking? You want to do a character? I'm always like it could be anybody.
Well, there's an awful lot of books in in a story.
So you like Peter Pan or something?
Sure,
or you
Peter
like,
Pan, or I was thinking of that
I
big
don't
hairy
know.
monster. What's that? That's the big,
The Color Monster?
the color monsters.
Okay.
You want to do one of the
He's
color
good.
monsters?
Oh, the Ugly Duckling, the Little Red Hen.
Oh, wow.
Those are
Okay.
story
Yeah,
ones.
let's do something for
Oh,
little.
yeah,
I
we-
was
we
gonna
got-
go with Rosa Parks
we
or
got
something.
we got a little
need
hen.
we need a Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, get all
We
the
don't
Swifties.
have that.
Oh, Ugly
But you can
Duckling.
add your
Let's
own
search
picture.
for it.
Let's
That's okay.
let's do. What did you do? There you go. Ugly duckling. There you go.
Oh, I've got ducklings here.
You got
okay.
ducklings and you got ugly.
Ugly.
There.
Okay.
And that signet does look like an ugly duckling.
It does.
It
He's
is a
ugly.
baby swan.
That's right. It's a signet.
Yeah. Well, remember the Ugly Duckling was a baby swan. If you remember the end of the story. So here's our Ugly
It's
duckling.
been a
And then
while.
you can
Honestly,
see
it's
how
been
we
a
can
while,
just go to a
Caroline,
tray,
since I've read the
and I
answer.
could I could add a bunch of different words in the tray and do it. So anyway, I just wanted to show how easy it was, and that it helps students to be able to make those connections, that they can come up with the words on their own, on their devices. I can put them into a tray. I can have words in the tray, and then they have to try to first do the first letter. I mean, there's a bunch of different things. And then it can also end up with a nice little celebration. So that was my sign. Oh, oops, put that in twice. This was one where we did a slideshow. And so we were studying North Korea in my literacy group and South Korea. And so at the end, we like to do these poems for two voices where you're saying, which one is true only for one of these? In this case, it's North Korea. Another one true only for South Korea. But the poem two voices could be about cats and dogs. I mean, it doesn't have to be this fancy, right? You know, what's something that's true for a cat, true for a dog? Okay, meow, bark would be examples that you're not going to put meow under the dog. And so they came up with some really good things. They talked about talent in South Korea because we'd watched a bunch of things about that. They talked about able to visit. I thought that was so interesting. They can go where they want in South Korea. In North Korea, they talked about poison because we watched a video talking about how some of the people who were from North Korea went on vacation and had a little poison dropped in there and
Wow.
weren't able to come back. So anyway, things like that. So they then sorted which one do these relate to. And they said for both, they're troubled, that there were some troubles in both North and South. I thought that was a great comment. So that's how we did it, just with colors. And then I said, okay, how could we do that in LessonPix? Well, here's what we did. So you can see that I have that North and South Korea, and I'm not going to really demonstrate it right now, but I just want to see, I made a sorting map, and I just got an image of North Korea. And I don't think the North Korean flag was in there. So I I found one online and just made an image of North Korea flag and the South Korea flag. And then I found your both symbol. And so you'll see
Adding
that
them
on here.
slowly.
Pardon?
A lot of flags. We're adding them slowly, all those
Yeah,
flags.
that's okay. I mean, they're easy to add. That was easy for me to add. And so I have North Korea, South Korea, and both. Okay.
Mhm.
And then I took all the stuff that they're ideas and made each one of those a text item. Okay. So it's just the words, because I don't want everything to be just about symbols. And that's why
Right.
you guys work so hard to make that text, because people said, sometimes we don't want to have the word. We don't want to have the symbol. Sometimes we want only the symbol. Sometimes we want only the word. And so we can do it either way. So I just made them into text item. And then we played the game, and we made that game into and then we used the draw the hat. And again, then they told me, where should it go? Should it go under North Korea, or should this go under South Korea? And then we talked about it, had a discussion, so if they say, well, I think that would go under North Korea, and we'd say, you're right, music could be both. They have music in North Korea and South Korea. But if they talked about some things that just didn't happen, then we had a conversation. So it's a great way to have a conversation. So I just adore poems for two voices. They're so great. And here's
Caroline,
Go ahead.
before you go on,
Yeah.
can I ask a couple questions about the folks that you're working with?
Yep.
Are these the same folks that you take on your out and about, or is this a different group?
Some of them are in out and about, and some are not. They're yes.
Are most of them AAC users?
100% AAC
100%.
users.
So your driver here, and so this is why I was asking the question. Your driver here is to give them things to talk about that they're highly motivated about, and that you can give them means to discuss things without having to spell everything out. You're giving them structure, you're giving them access to the words, and you're doing this about something that they're very interested in already. correct?
Exactly. So this is this whole creative expression part. And some of them are now writing more. And so they are now coming up with more words that they, wrong one. I have multiple. That's for the workshop.
She's so complicated.
That's for tomorrow. Sorry about that.
Look how
Just
fancy.
ignore the woman, ignore the man behind the screen. What was that? Elisa says, they then generate with their access the alphabet. Exactly. Elisa's pointing out that, yes, first of all, we start with words on the device and then we use the full alphabet. So it's a really important point to talk about the full alphabet that and for some of them, they're not generating the entire word, but they're helping figure out what's the first letter. They're getting more and more. Some of them. So one of the people in this particular group is really great at figuring out the key letters in a word. And so she puts out the key letters and then uses word prediction. So she did PF for that science experiment because she could not believe how perfect it was. I think she did maybe PFT, perfect, right?
Awesome.
It was perfect. And then that came up in word prediction. So she could call out. She spelled it, but then she yelled out, perfect, right?
Awesome.
And so here's another one. We did a 9-word bio poem. We have so much fun with these. And you can see that this was from some students who are learning to write with their hands and writing things. And they're doing, we were doing superheroes one day. And so you're going to give me 3 action words, 3 adjectives, and 3 nouns that go along with whatever superhero. And so this one had done it. It was the super dog. Of the flying, I can't remember what it was called, but anyway, that's the one in the back. But this one was a student who they were talking about. So they would give you 3 possibilities, and then these are basically, it's a clue game, right? But it's a written clue game. So it's a reason for writing to play a game that's super fun. And so we were trying to guess. So she had given us 3 possible things that might be, and one of them was a therapy dog. So the action words, helpful, et cetera. The describing word, it's white, it has brunette hair, it's kind, and the nouns were the job, and they also come to your house. So that was for therapy dogs. But what I love so much is that Beth took that and made a 9-word template. And so we just downloaded it and then wrote on top of it, had the kids write on top of it. So, I mean, it's not just about the symbols. Sometimes it's about creating materials that you can use light text. So when that's a free one, by the way, that Beth made. I don't know if you guys knew that she threw that in as a free template.
She is authorized.
I know.
She has the power. She can make anything she wants free.
And it was just such a great thing. And now they can, because some of the people, when I'm working in public schools, many of the students are able to write, but they're early writers. And so writing a long thing is really hard, but coming up with a few words to describe something. How many of you know kids who are kind of passionate about superheroes or cartoon characters, that this is something they know a lot about, right? We have lots of students that have deep knowledge about a superhero or a character from a movie, etc. And so that's just a really fun game, but it's also a fun activity to do. And so that's what it looks like. And then the last one I want to show was the color poem in grid books. And so we've done color poems. I read the students' color poems, and then I said, okay, what color do you want? And they said red. And this was middle school class. And these were students who were able to write, and they weren't perfectly written. And then we had them, go back and work on the revising and editing. And so each student added one line that led to today I'm feeling red. And they wanted red to be anger. And they came up with things like, this is when there was a sheriff in Arizona that wasn't so popular with some of the families. And one of the students had something about the sheriff. And so, it was just so interesting to see the kinds of things. One of them was about their sister did something that made them bad. So just all these different things that made them see red. And so here was the idea that Beth had to go to LessonPix and use grid books. And so I've linked to a video tutorial, but that's above my pay grade. And so I have one here, and I'm going to close this out and stop sharing. and see if there's somebody from there wants to do a grid book that has a line or two. I'll give you the words of a poem.
Sure. So let's do that. Let me share I guess it's going to be me.
It is
Uh,
you.
it's
Congrats.
gonna be me.
Well, you have the mouse.
Mr. Grid Books. And by the way, Elena and Judith and I were there when Grid Books was just a gleam in your eye.
Yes.
Yep, that is
So
true.
exciting.
And man, we have done a lot since then. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Grid Books is a feature on LessonPix. It's right here. It is still in beta. There are still issues, but it is super helpful. And in your case, we're just going to start with a book. You said you wanted a bunch of sentences on the left and then pictures on the right.
Yeah,
right?
even just sentences, and then she color coded it. So we're going to do a sentence about green. Green is. We're just going to do that.
And then you had pictures on the right. How many pictures? Let me show you why I'm asking.
Okay. Yep.
So here. So I'm going to make a book. So do I have two columns, one for pictures and one for
Yep.
All right. So we're
columns.
going to have.
So we're just going to, okay, well, that was what I thought I was going to do.
Yep.
All right.
So then there's a couple different ways you can do this.
Right.
How many pictures do you want on the right?
Just one for each line. So we're going to have about 6 lines. So we want, 6 lines.
Since they're sentences, should you have more space? Like make the pictures a third of the page? You know, like do they show how
let's do that. So let's do this. Let's make this 4 across. Okay.
I see. Sneaky.
Right.
See?
Right.
Love it. I know what you're going to do. I love it.
So we'll make so let's just start with this. And we'll call this
our color
green. Green is.
So this is predictive chart writing kind of thing.
It's sort of it's like, that makes me green. It's going to be that. It's similar. It could totally be a predictable chart book. This absolutely could be a predictable chart book.
Let's see how we do here. So let's create our new page.
Okay.
All right. So I have my new page. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see it better.
Okay.
It says green is down here. My mouse has actually died.
Well, you're having a tech problem.
I am. So now we're down to a thumb pad. We're good. So we've got this. And what I was going to show you is we can come in here and say, all right, all my sentences, right? They're going to span a couple.
And I would even do 3 across, maybe.
I would do 3 across.
3 across.
And then the picture on the end.
Picture on the end. All right. So we can take these like this. And I'm sorry about the mouse issue.
No, you're doing
I'm
great.
about half speed right now. All right. So.
And so I was going to say something like eating spinach. That makes me green. I was just going to do, sitting on a boat. That makes me green. Just have a funny thing with a repeated line.
Spinach. We can add maybe some dots. You want to make me green or?
Yeah. And then the next line is that makes me green. So that's going to be a repeated line. I'm just making this up. I didn't plan this. That makes me green.
That makes me green.
And then the next line is going to be sitting in a boat. That makes me green. And,
gotcha.
Right.
Seasick. Gotcha.
And that's enough.
And so here I'll take this. That makes me green, and I'm just going to copy it down.
We love copy paste.
Copy and paste, right? So, and then I'm going to make let's make these green.
That was exactly what I was going to say. I'm going to make that green.
Dark green border, maybe. This.
Yep.
And then one neat, nifty thing I can do here is, in addition to like moving this thing around like this.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
my mouse is going to kill me.
You want me to go grab you a mouse?
No, we're good. Another thing we can do is while I'm dragging, you see at the bottom where it says drag to move, control drag to copy, alt drag to paint the style. So that means that if I hold down the alt, can you see that just changed to a paintbrush?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So now it's
very
just
cool.
The color, right?
Right.
I don't really want it on that one.
Right.
I want it on this one, right?
Got it. Love it.
So I can very quickly go in and change these different colors and things like that. Now, you said you wanted a picture on each one of these?
Yeah, so we want spinach, and then we want the color green, right? Spinach on the first line and just the color green on the second line.
Spinach right there. And green. We'll have lots of greens.
Yeah, just a green. Yeah, green square is great.
Right?
Yep.
And then this is seasick.
Boat. Yeah, seasick. Yeah, that's good.
I don't think we do.
And if you don't, you can have a boat.
We
I
might
can't
have.
spell nauseous.
I
Might
really
have
love this.
sick. We
I'm
have a
really
green
sick.
sick, right? Go further down.
Oh
down.
yeah, this guy. How about this emoji's great?
The one next to it is
Oh
green.
yeah, look at that.
sick. There
Green
you go.
sick. Look at that. Sitting in a boat. But it's not a
Oh,
boat.
love it.
That's okay.
That's great.
Let's put this guy here.
Yes, yes.
There
And
you
then
go.
we'll
and
do
you
the
a
boat here, right?
Okay.
I'm with you.
This joint writing,
Right.
you know, just working together.
So sitting
Yes,
in a
this
boat.
is that shared writing project. See?
All right, eating spinach, that makes me green. Sitting in a boat, that makes me green. And I've got eating spinach. Maybe I'll make this one yuck. Add taste. What am I looking for yuck? I know there's a yuck.
Yeah, there's definitely a
Yucky.
yuck. It may be spelled Y-U-K. I don't remember.
Oh, what did I say? Is it Y-U-K?
You might have said, or it might be Y-U-C-K. I can't remember how it's spelled in LessonPix.
All right, well, we'll just leave it green.
Yeah.
So,
But
this is how you do it now.
I've known about that pulling it across and also
Yeah.
about pouring in.
And you can
That's gonna
change
make
this
it
after
so
you
much
got it. Like,
faster.
if you got in here and you said, oh, you know what? I don't need 6 rows. I need 4. If you click right here where the little gear is,
Oh,
let you
nice.
change it. So I can say, let's make this 4 rows. If you decide, oh, you know what? I need the even more room for the writing.
Right.
You can say,
Right.
Let's make some more of these. It'll add more
Love
rows.
Right. Love
and
it.
You can move these over, things like that, make them a little skinnier. You can do all this interactive stuff very easily on grid books. And then
I
when you're
just love the
done-
flexibility. And of course, you might want to have one that can you copy this? Because make a duplicate, because I might want one where I take out the images. You know,
you can go up here to where it says page. You can say duplicate page.
Mhm.
And so now we have a copy of
Right.
this one. So we'll open this. We'll change this to what do you want this one to say?
Green is no pics.
No pics.
Yep.
And then we would take this and throw it on the scratch pad and take that.
Yep. So that's what you do. That you're not getting rid of them because you might want them again. Yep.
Right.
And then
you can clear this if you want to get rid of them. Right.
Right.
It's fine.
Got it.
And so then when you're all done, you hit create book and you say, okay, this is going to be green is, I want the tabs on the bottom rounded. I want it letter landscape. I want the background I want it to be white. I don't want to have all that green on there. And then card text at the bottom, I think, for you, right? You want the text underneath?
Yes.
And then yes, include the page title. The border's fine. I don't like Comic Sans. Let's use Century Gothic.
And you
we do want to show the unused cells.
Century Gothic.
And this is going to go through.
Right.
It's going to generate our book. Got our PDF file, and it's beautiful. And it's ready to go. So there's page 1. And there's page 2 with no pictures.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I love it. And you're going to send it to me, right? So I don't have to do it again.
Sure. I'll make it free in the sharing center. Sure.
That's great.
Be happy to
That's just a perfect example of the fact that when you look at the grid books, it looks like because the original intention of grid books is to create communication boards and flip books and so forth. And so this just says, yeah, but you could also, and I think that's one of the things that I just love about LessonPix is that incredible flexibility. And it's even, I would say that grid books is much more flexible than I had even realized. So that's very exciting. I didn't know you could change it after the fact.
You can change it after
I only
the fact.
want, I said, if I said I want 4 across, and
one
then
of the best,
I wish I had 5 across.
One of the best things about it is that you can change it 3 weeks later.
Right.
Because you can come in here 3 weeks later. There's nothing in your tray.
You're not showing it though.
Oh, sorry. You come in here 3 weeks later and you say, oh, you know what? I made that book weeks ago. You come in here, you go to your materials. And if you say open book, right, it will reopen it exactly the way it was in the grid books tool. And you can start changing it then.
Love it.
Right.
Or you can open someone else's book
You can,
and make it your own.
Go to the sharing center. You can say, I need some grid books.
You can see what other people have made.
Somebody did 5 Little Monkeys. If you want,
there's a lot of songs.
Of course.
That example of yours really took off.
Yes.
So, Yeah. So here's
Love
we don't need any more. No more manding. We'll do something else. So we'll do this one, right? I don't know what this is. A celery experiment. Is this yours? It's Teresa's.
Teresa's.
That's
There
awesome.
you go.
So if I wanted to download it, I can, but I can also hit open book. It will open the book in the grid books tool.
Mhm.
I can start from here, and I can, change the colors. I can do like neat stuff. If I say, you know what, I really want, I need more color in this. I want to change it to a very light green background. And then I can drag this down with the alt turned on. I can go up here. Get my mouse to work. So I'll grab this corner. All those just changed color.
Right.
All the shortcuts.
All
Yep.
the shortcuts are here. So you can
But
really
I can-
quickly change these things.
But I could also take that and say, okay, that celery experiment is great, but I'm not doing the celery experiment. I'm doing the egg drop experiment. So
Yep.
I could just do a save as, right?
You can? Yeah,
What's it
absolutely.
called?
Save as, save
Yeah.
layout.
Yeah, that's what
And
I
that'll
thought.
be your own.
Yep.
You also can duplicate the page and
Right.
do one here, which is a different experiment, and just go in and change the text. It
Right.
all works. Hopefully it all works pretty well.
Well, that's a great idea. You can just make a whole bunch of tabs with different experiments for the
Yes.
potato
Yes.
experiment,
Whoops.
for the
Oh, I'm such an experiment person. I love that.
flower. Yeah. Yeah.
So Caroline is
Oh,
Celebrating writing.
that was
Melissa
Nice,
posted
Melissa.
the link everywhere that you can see this. You can go there. That's your book that you came out with. Now,
and we want to
Yeah.
give one away.
I
So
want to give one away.
Allie, can you
Wow.
just look to see who's here that doesn't work with LessonPix? Somebody, Julie Marzano, I don't know you.
I do. She was on our OT week,
But
our
she's
OT
but
month.
Julie Marzano is not somebody that I know, so it's okay
No.
if I give it to her. Julie Marzano, email me and I will send you a link to the book. You're the winner.
Okay. Or you can,
Wow.
if
Yay,
you-
Julie.
Julie, if you want, you can DM me or
Yeah, do that, and
in
then
touch with
you'll
us.
get
We'll
my
make sure you
email
get it.
address.
How's that?
Yeah, Sounds good.
Yay.
Very
Oh,
good.
that was nice.
There
I
you
wanted to
go.
win.
and what else are we giving away? Oh wait, I wanted to give away 2 books. Allie, pick a second person. Pick somebody you don't know. Can you see the list of participants? Oh,
No.
okay. First person who says I want it.
So if you look on comments, Allie, you can see the list.
There you go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, whoever says I want it,
Paula
I want to win.
Friedrich.
Let me.
Paula Friedrichs.
Okay.
She wants it.
Okay.
Tell you what, and Leslie spoke up quickly so she can get the LessonPix subscription. How about that?
Great.
How
Wonderful.
about that? Leslie, you can email Bill at LessonPix.com and I will say, or email Allie at LessonPix.com. No? No, she says no. Email Bill at LessonPix.com and I'll send you a
That's too
free.
funny.
So, and Al, you are muted. We can't hear you laugh. Is that on purpose?
Yes, it's on purpose.
All right. So Leslie wins the LessonPix, and Paula wins the.
Megan tried hard. Megan was there in the middle.
Megan tried. Oh, she was in the middle.
You know
Yeah.
what, Megan,
Well-
you can have my book too.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
You're already giving away
I
two.
can
We'll
give
give her.
away
We'll give
two.
her a LessonPix. So how about that?
Oh, that's a better
if they
prize.
have
Now
it.
Julie and
Same-
Julie and the other person are going, what?
No,
I
you're
just
not
want to
allowed on
celebrate."
anymore. You're not allowed on anymore. You come on. You give away our
No, I'm
stuff.
just teasing you. They're getting the consolation prize, the cheap one.
So let's talk a little bit about what's coming up in your world. You're taking your summer trip back here. Do you
Yes.
see clients in North Carolina?
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. So you are on
For the
vacation.
entire month of June, from middle of June till the end of August, I am retired.
Wow.
Because I'm at all my friends who are my age, like nobody that I graduated from high school is still working full time. And so I'm retired for a couple months. And then in September, I'll do a little bit of work. And in October, a little bit of work. But October is really good kayaking and hiking month. So I won't work too much. And then we go back to Arizona and I work. And then I'm back to being a workaholic.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I have some. I'd love some advice on a project of mine.
Oh, good.
And you would
What's
be
that?
good for it.
Great.
So can I derail this for a second?
Oh, sure.
So I have a project.
Like I could stop
You can stop me.
Like you
You're
can
the
tell her,
boss.
that's right.
You're the boss. Allie, is she the boss?
Oh,
Can't see her.
Absolutely.
There they go.
Absolutely. She's the boss. All right. I want to show what we're doing at Nina Harris. So
You're not sharing the screen. though.
not yet.
Okay.
I'm not yet sharing the screen.
Okay.
because he's behind the scenes still. He doesn't want him to see his stock drawer.
You should see his desktop. People were
I'm
commenting.
actually in my office. We have
No, I'm talking about your virtual stock
prove it.
drawer when you
this is
see
not a
everything.
green-
Yeah, when I'm in my barn, if I turn it one way, you see the tractor. I won't even
Gotcha.
tell you what
Oh,
you see if you turn the other way.
Let's see.
What are you gonna
Nina
show?
Harris.
We've been
While
quite
he's getting
busy.
that, I will tell you
Yeah.
that at the end of June, Gretchen and I are going to do alternative pencils coming to you from the Big Red Barn.
Oh,
That's awesome.
And then in
awesome.
July, Lauren Enders and I are going to do how being creative from the
I
Big
don't
Red
think
Barn.
you're retired during June.
I
That's
don't
one
think
of
July,
that's
One
not
of
what
mine.
retired
That's
means.
Okay,
So
we got to work on what
What
retirement
it means to be retired.
exactly.
We can put up a semantic map, show someone laying around. We could talk about the words.
So I am going.
Yeah,
It has to be
I'm
me.
working
In
on
order to, I can't be.
Also, by the way, you talked about Korea. Allie is going to Korea.
Oh, wow. Allie, how
Next summer.
exciting.
You
Yep.
want
Oh, I'm
to
so envious.
share that? What you're doing?
Well, I don't really know what I'm doing. I am planning on going to South Korea next summer if everything works out.
With a bunch of friends.
Oh, it just looks like studying it in literacy group, everywhere we study, I have about 50 places I want to go now. I mean, the world is so amazing and South Korea looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, you talked about the color, talking about colors. Allie just showed me yesterday, I think it was, she has a color playlist of music.
Oh, that's true.
Nice.
True.
So that's a very creative way to tie
Yeah.
in, an interest area when you're talking about colors.
Does
and
it paint it black? Would that be on your black color list?
It would. It would. There were quite a few on that color list.
But you don't have paint it black. You have, although I just recommended that one.
We did. We just recommended. We just saw Zach Brown.
Well, the
saying,
Rolling Stones were in Phoenix week before last, so that was
Oh,
that's on my mind. I missed it.
wrong.
My good friend went.
You have blue da da dee da da. No.
Yeah, I have that one.
All right, let's share this. So,
You ready yet?
yeah, finally.
Okay.
So this is a group that AT Makers is working with. And this is the Mr. Strong Foundation, which is really run by Michelle Morales right here. This is our school board member and the principal of the school and stuff like that. This is at the ribbon cutting, but they made an adaptive gaming playhouse. So it's the functionable clubhouse. So Nina Harris, how would you describe Nina Harris?
It's a center school.
It's a center school. Okay, it's a center school in a county that doesn't really do much in terms of self-contained anymore. Correct.
Correct.
Right. So it's a very big inclusive county. So these are all very involved kiddos, right? And we went in, and these are some of the kiddos, and we helped them make an adaptive gaming lounge. There's me making an adaptive gaming lounge where I got to get to, this is me. They are in this lounge. So right there, this is a young woman who is got a device on her wrist where when she shakes her wrist, the car moves, right? So she has CP and she's got spasticity, but we gave her something that she has intent and she can show it. She can shake that and get the action on the screen. And she hated it. She had an absolutely miserable time.
Oh yeah, I can tell. Such a shame.
Yeah, she was not happy at all.
Right.
But
No,
all
but-
of these kids, yes, a little bit. So a lot of these kids are now having something to talk about, right? When as much as the folks in Nine Harris are great teachers, this is something they can all do, regardless of what their challenge is. All
Right.
these kids can game now. We've got kids who use speech devices. We've got kids who are using right there. This is one of the dads, I think, is showing the head tracker that I made. So wherever you look, that's where the joystick moves the car. We have ones that are 2-switch scanning setups where you can scan and move things. All of these are set up in some way where these kids can be involved. And what's interesting is they had me, the geek, talk to some of the PTs, speech paths, and OTs about how are we going to use this in our therapy. I remember thinking, I'm probably the least qualified person to talk. I can talk about how the stuff's going to work, right?
Right. No, I hear you.
A lot of folks don't. They see gaming and they think play and they think recreation. We had this long conversation about all these other ways to use this clubhouse, right? It's motivating. It's going to make it really easy for you to find a new access point because they're not hit the switch. No, they're making the car go, right?
Right.
And they're going to have the opportunity to talk later and to write later about what did we do, who won, what happened at gaming today. They can set up a club, like a after school club, which there aren't a lot of after school activities that these kids can use. There are not a lot of AAC users. There were a couple, but there probably should be.
Right.
There probably should be.
I would say probably most of the students should have robust communication.
And a lot of them have core boards and things like that, but a lot of them don't have an adequate, in my view,
and I'm sure in my view, and that's
probably
because they don't have great access. And what an amazing way to teach that access and to learn partner assisted scanning and head control and where you just are so motivated. Gretchen Hanser would be I hope Academy, where she works in New York City, is doing some amazing things, and they have a fabulous team, and they could really help you. I think they could do some quid pro quo. You give them some designs.
Yeah, I could give her some. I could give them geek help,
and she could. Her team would come up with. Here are 7 reasons that there's 7 ways we can use this as a PT, as an OT, as the teacher, as the therapist, as the aide, as the volunteers coming in. Family, home. She could absolutely help you make that happen.
I'm going to drop your name. I've met Gretchen, but I'm not sure she would.
Oh, she definitely knows who you are. Yeah.
So Judy says such a winning combination. So one of my challenges really was I was very surprised. I was surprised that they were asking me for the motivation part, right? I'm surprised that you would think that if you're an OT in a center school, or the OT was fabulous. I shouldn't use her as an example. She's wonderful. But if you're in that situation, I think a lot of them have never thought about things outside of therapy, outside of their scope of practice. And gaming is outside of their scope of practice, but it's still a leverage point, right? It's something you can do. It's going to motivate them to talk. It's going to motivate them to move, or to lift their head, to reach across the midline, whatever it is.
And talk about expression, building things, or designing their car, or their their avatar.
And I think one of the things is, first of all, we don't know what we don't know. But secondly, there's still this mindset of functional skills, life skills stuff. And these are kids who are not going to be, cleaning the counters in a cafeteria. And P.S., I don't see life skills in general as incredibly motivating for most of the students we work with. And I always talk about what's more functional than literacy, right? And so
Yeah.
what's more functional than learning, getting great at switch access? Because think of the 1,000 things you can do. Now you get that robust AAC system because you can document, because often you don't get it in many states until you can document that you got great access. You don't get, so there's that catch-22 if you can't get better at it because you don't have a chance to practice. But this is a great way to practice all kinds. I mean, I guarantee you we're going to see people who get much better at this movement because they've figured it out for this, making whatever they're motivated.
Like Rocket League.
And now
like
that's
the Minecraft arm swing, right?
Right. And now that's, or whatever whether it's hitting something with about your elbow, the switch that's back here, those types of things we see. I know that in my days at the Irene Wortham Center, we had a huge switch library, and I don't know if you know, I wrote a book on adaptive play in 1985.
No.
Yeah. on how to adapt materials, because I believe that play is the way children learn. I mean, it's that motivation, that what you learn through play. We laugh about everything we should have learned in kindergarten. Well, that play is such a huge part of it. And so you're preaching
to the choir over here.
Exactly. Well, I'll bring it to North Carolina.
Lori can give you a big lecture about taking play out of the pre-K classroom. It's her soapbox.
I have a T-shirt that says my work is child's play.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Alyssa was talking about scope of practice, and gaming is outside of the scope of practice. Motivation is not. They might just need to have a friendly nudge or shove towards.
That's exactly right. And it's about kind of flipping the switch and saying, okay, what do I already know, and how can I connect this? Because we all learn so much better if we can connect the unknown to the known. And so gaming feels really new, but like Elisa said, people have that connection to things they already know. It's just saying, let's add something new in there. And, a lot of times the switch kinds of stuff were, so the bear beat the drum, now what? Okay, he beat the drum.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly. And, we had set up wonderful things for interactive play, that I'm going to send this walking dog over to you because he's got a message for you. And when you read that message, there's something you're going to have to do to send it to somebody else. Just all kinds of deep learning that the stuff you're setting up can impact that deep learning.
I think I'll steal your idea on the AAC device. The idea about setting up the structured conversations afterwards, like a debrief. Like we actually, I went down a list of things that we came up with them. I wrote them and presented them to that group. But I think that's one worth saying, is that, set up, make sure that their boards, make sure that they're low-tech boards for the kids who don't have devices, and the kids who have high-tech devices they're capable of discussing what happened in gaming today, right? What was make sure that they're not unable to do the one thing we want them to do, which is to type and to write and to express themselves about this thing that they suddenly can do.
Right. I could see a really great checklist for the kinds of skills that you might learn, and see what are they already doing, and that leads into how we're setting it up, and then what do they learn from that leads you to the next piece, and the next and the next. So
I also really like your idea about improving efficacy, improving access points, is the way you put it.
Yep.
And the fact that now get them the device. I want to say get them the device, damn it, but I can't say that, because these are my partners and I like them.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And a lot of times people are desperately wanting their kids to have a robust high-tech system, and they just don't, feel like they have the skills that they need right now to be successful with it. So this is the way we can document their skills, but also help people understand that partner-assisted scanning, you don't have to be great at your device. You can be you can be doing part of it, and a partner can be moving it for you, and you can be choosing. That whole 2-switch scanning. I think people really try too much to get kids to do time switch activation. It's just so difficult for beginners, and so
I made a video for geeks on 2-switch scanning last night. I just published it.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, because like
Right.
Adafruit made this little part, which is awesome. That it's $10. You plug in an AT switch, and it becomes the world's cheapest, smallest switch interface, right?
Nice.
And it'll do 2-switch scanning. And I made the video that said, why is this important? Right?
Absolutely.
Why is this not just another switch thing that geeks say, yeah? I'm like, no. Look what you can do in iOS. Look what you can do in Cough Drop. Look what you can do in any of the speech generating devices.
Yeah. Oh, exciting. Yes, we want you helping the geeks to understand why what they're doing matters so much, so that they'll keep doing it and do more.
Keep it in their mind, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Allie, we've talked literally over you. I'm sorry about that. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Allie also would like me to do these gaming things on days that she's available, correct?
Yes.
You want to come up? You'd like to come up and play?
I would like to help.
Yeah, you'd be good at it, right?
Yeah.
Allie, you're doing you've done your medical. I forget the acronym. The thing you had to do to prove medical necessity. You're doing your first AAC evaluations and stuff on your own. How cool is that?
Yeah.
It's like all those things made sense and worked. You learned stuff, and you're the only AAC person there, right?
Pretty much. I mean, they've had AAC users and they have AAC users, but it's not very common at my current place.
Nobody else has the passion for it.
Not to the same extent.
Gotcha. Yeah. And you are you're building a little AAC practice in Bradenton, Florida. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So Caroline, thank you for when you were also taking Allie in during schooling. You and Brandy did wonders. We could see them. We could see her bloom before anybody else could, I think.
Oh,
right?
It was greatly to our benefit. We're incredibly happy to have her share.
You certainly
her
lit
skills
the
with us.
passion for AAC.
All of a sudden, there's now
we have a lot of conversations about AAC and AT as well. Allie does a lot. You work with a lot of different children and adults. I can definitely hear her love for AAC.
Yep, which all came out of Arizona.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of my goals in life is to help grow the field, and to try to be a mentor to people, and as I'm getting mentored as well.
All right. Well, let's do this. We are gonna try and keep this short-ish. But let's do this. Let's make sure if anybody in the comments has any questions at all for Caroline, or if we haven't shared something, or if we need to, please let us know. I think we have. I don't think we have any surprises or new stuff since last week because we've been building a house. Allie, do you have anything new you want to show or cool stuff you want to show?
Not really. I mean, the one thing that it's not really new at this point, but just something that is also sort of customizable in writing is the trading cards.
Oh, that's yours. I remember. You want to show some? She'll love them. Caroline, have you seen our trading cards?
No, I have not.
Allie, you want to share them?
Would you like to share them?
Or you want me to share them?
Yeah, you can share them.
All right. You want to explain them?
I can explain them.
All right. I will do that. Let's see.
So I've used them as like Valentine's Day cards and just simple little things, but you can also use them to go with like the gaming center to make your, I don't know, target or interest of Pokemon cards or whatever.
Right. So this is your request, was to make things that were like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and other trading cards, right? Baseball cards, right? Where you can make them and you can put text at the top, text on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Right.
And you can have them type in or tell you what to type in for the top line as the title, and then the bottom lines, every line after that goes under the picture. And so you can have them like do their family members or their friends and then write something nice about them. Or you can leave it blank if they're able to write with a pencil and they can fill it in themselves. And I did black and white pictures so that they could color in the image and then go in and write something nice to their friends and give them to their friends too.
Oh, Allie, I love this so much.
This cool?
Yes.
Just going on
Brilliant.
a bear hunt.
Great writing motivator.
You can draw a
also
card
great-
from a story. Yeah.
Great for playing for game playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's also nice because it's one of the more complicated templates, right? So
Right.
for here, these are Ben Franklin facts, but when you look, every one of them has, can have, I chose one that didn't, can have a different title on each card.
Forward.
I know. Like
That one does. Doesn't. Oh.
Doesn't, but this one does. Right. So this one, every title is different on each card, and there's a bunch of words on each card. So you can basically make the name and then the descriptor of every card that you're looking for. Whereas most things don't let you do that. Most of our templates have a title that's the same on everything, and then the text would all be down here. So yeah, this is the example where this is Gwen, Allie's cousin, and a very young version of me, and Emily, who now works for LessonPix too. You can put information about them, like what their superpower is. Did you have any of these shared, Al?
So I have a question. So I'm thinking about some of the characters in Retopia. For example, that we could make a set of trading
Really good
cards
idea.
for Long John Silver and Jim Hawkins and Dr.
Absolutely.
Livesey and so forth. And
Yeah.
and then they have to tell us, what are some of the characteristics and the powers that, Long John Silver's got a parrot on his shoulder, and so forth. Love
Right.
it.
You could build a deck of characters you've studied.
Absolutely.
And
Right.
by the end of the year, you would have quite a deck of different
Yes.
characters.
Yeah, every time a new character comes in, we're going to make there's his real hands. We got to make a character card for him.
Yep.
I
And
love
you can
it.
make connections to previous characters from other stories. Like, oh, look at these two, are they
Right.
similar?
Good old
Are they
text to
different?
text comparison, Laurie.
I love
We
it.
love
Yeah.
that text to text.
I am pretty
comparison.
sure not enough people know about these, just because of what's been shared in the sharing center.
Uh-huh.
Like it's all our folks, up until about a month ago. Maybe somebody must have talked
And I
about
will
it.
tell you, the Arctic people, they love LessonPix. So there's a lot of things for it.
Right.
Yeah,
Arctic, medial, vocalic, R, Uno.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one was mine. The Vocalic Art Uno was mine.
This one. So
Oh, I saw some core word trading cards.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
that would be Beth. Yep.
That's Beth. There you go.
Yep.
I just shared my Dr. Doolittle trading cards, which are just the characters from it.
There
you
you
did?
go.
Oh, there you go.
you
See,
can-
they're already done.
And
You
you
Oh,
left
yeah.
them
room.
little comments or what they
Yeah.
might say if you
Room
use
for them
them
to
in
work.
situations.
Is there a
Yeah.
two-headed llama?
There is.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a major character.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read Dr. Doolittle.
It's quite good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
lovely.
and we've got everybody's talking about it.
There's Jip.
These
Yep.
big fun for story
Oh,
grammar
Chi-Chi, what a
sequencing.
great thing. Now, you drew all these, Laurie and Allie?
Yes.
Lori drew most of these, right, Al? Did you draw any of these?
No, I drew all these.
I don't think so.
When
These
would
are
you
all
use
hers.
personalized playing cards versus trading cards?
I did not draw the push me, pull you.
Oh no, I stitched those together.
Using the symbol builder.
I think that is a character we need to add into our greater
Yeah.
library. So I'm
I
going to
put-
take that and
Yeah.
convert it to a real image.
Cool.
Love it.
So, Alyssa
Ben the
Warren,
dragon looks a lot like Captain Jack Sparrow.
he does.
He does.
Alyssa Warren asks, when would you use personalized playing cards versus trading cards? So the big difference, I think, Alyssa, is there's different styles, but the other big difference is if you want to have a blurb of text about each subject, each card, you can do that in trading cards. Whereas in playing cards, you just have the title there. There's
Exactly
no
what I was
room.
going to say. There's wrap text.
Also,
in those trading cards.
in trading cards, you can be more specific in the colors that you choose because they're each individual, rather than in the playing cards, they all come out as red and yellow. So like each of these, if I was working on verbs and I wanted to use green words because they're using an AAC device and I want to work on actions, I can make them all green and not have the entire deck be green.
And we did that with students, where the students got to pick the color of their card that had their photo on it. And so at the end, we had a deck of our class, right? Trading cards, and they could trade them with each other and build their own decks of their friends.
You said go back to the article.
Yeah, you could, if you go down, I was just going to show exactly that. Yeah, eventually we'll get to cards.
Yeah, let me turn this
I know
off.
that you're.
There you go. I'm sorry. I'm doing a lot.
There you go. So you can see 3 different colors there. So, are there any other examples?
Could really see some.
There you go.
This is great.
See, Simon says, yeah.
Yeah, and this one's great too. It is very dark. It's got the like a shading, but the colors you can still change for each one of them. And or you make them all the same like these. So very cool, very cool template. Definitely something we need to talk about more. I got a request for a link to that video that I had made. I will do one better. I will give a link to the page that has the video on it on the Adafruit site.
About the 2-switch scanning and what that is.
Scanning for geeks. Yes.
Yeah.
I
And your
posted that.
videos in there.
Yeah. So I'll show you guys what I just shared. So this is actually an article that Adafruit has, which is the company that makes this, about this little device. And it talks about all the techie stuff, like how it works and how to program it and everything else. But inside here, and this is what I sent the link to, there's a thing here on 2-switch scanning. And it shows, it's got me showing how to do 2-switch scanning. I'll tell you what, I will also post the YouTube link just in case that's easier for folks. Because they might look at the Adafruit site and say,
too scary. It's got all this code on there.
Yep. It says an error occurred posting 2-switch scanning. Well, I'm going to try it again, and if it works, great, and if it doesn't, I will post it manually. Let's see. There you go.
There you
it
go.
It says it succeeded now. Okay, it looks like StreamYard's having some issues tonight. So I think that's all the questions we have. Paula says she'd use them for story grammar and sequencing. One question is, how do I get my freebie from Caroline? Paula, you're welcome to email me, bill@lessonpix.com, and I'm happy.
And I'll give my, I'm trying to, let me see if I can connect to what? I want to comment. Okay. Oh, good grief. Seriously, it's going to make me go through all this.
You didn't pray to the gods. I don't know what you were doing.
Sign into StreamYard, allow. See, I didn't have to do this because I just had a direct link. So now let's see if I can, yes, I'm in. Okay, now I can post a comment. Okay. Let's see if I can spell my name correctly this time.
Yeah.
I think that's right. There, I just put my email in there.
Excellent. And if you don't get it, feel free to reach out.
And you can also send me a private message on Facebook or whatever, or contact Bill or
we can make sure this happens.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this was fun. Thank you,
Ally. Thank you for
this.
sharing the trading cards. And
yeah, that's
maybe
awesome.
we'll have in the fall when school starts again. Maybe we'll have Ally as a new speech path, as a first-year speech path at the end of your first year. So maybe in May or whenever. Maybe we'll have you be the guest. Caroline can pepper you with questions from the audience, and you can walk through what was this like in school? How did the transition go? What was hard? How did LessonPix help, if it helped? How would it help even if you weren't
Can I just add, she's been a speech path for the past year.
Yes.
Well, I've been an SLPA prior to that.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I think you're qualified.
Oh,
So, all right. I see Alyssa's email is just posted. It says, thank you. I won't post your email inside the video because that's just bound to be trouble. But I think we are good. We're getting thank yous. So that's always a good sign.
This was fun.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye, Caroline. If you want to
Thank
stay
you.
on for a second, we'll chat for a second.
Sure.
But goodbye, everybody. And Allie, you hang on here too for a second.
All right. Bye.
Bye.